You are listening to the North Shore 9 podcast. Follow them on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Also, make sure to watch NS9 Live every Thursday on Twitch and help support by becoming a patron. Let's go Bucks!
Good evening. Happy Thursday, everybody. This is Jim Rosati, Northside Notch. With me is Tyler, Wagner to Hopeless. How you doing tonight, Tyler?
You know what? I'm here, living the dream. Unfortunately, the Nardos is with us, so not that much of a dream.
I was going to say, lurking in the background is our producer, Anthony Donardo. So he'll be popping in from time to time with some news, some mail that we got this week. So we'll answer some mail that we got over Twitter. Twitter's been down like half the day. I don't know. What kind of impact did that have on your life today?
So do you think maybe it went down because of the election?
And maybe it was like
that might have been a thank God. Like
it could have been
we don't need to hear it tonight.
Russian hackers. Yeah, they took it down so that no one could tweet about the town hall that's going.
Yeah, we just don't need to hear about it. You're not changing anybody's opinion on there, so let's just not share it.
You know what, though? That makes sense. I bet, that actually, I didn't put 2 to 2 together.
Neither did I until you brought that up.
The fact that there's, like, no Twitter during, like, all this right now. Like, no one can have, like, live reactions to it.
Oh, it's lovely. I don't want to hear your live reaction. If I wanted to, I'd get on Facebook.
No, I hear you. Have you been watching any playoff baseball at
all? So I tuned into approximately 3 seconds of the Dodgers game yesterday, and it was 15-1, and that's what you got out of me.
Yeah, no, I think it was 11-0 after the first inning, and after that point, I was like, you know what? I think I don't need to watch the rest of this. I think we're pretty good.
Yeah.
So
right. Yeah, it's it's not really entertaining to me right now, just because there's too much other things going on. I mean, I'm not a big NBA fan, but that was going on. You had Stanley Cup that just ended. We've been waiting so long for football. I'm full-blown football mode right now. The Pirates were so bad this year that it's hard to really get into any playoff baseball. I know I'll get into it during the World Series, but until then, I'm kind of out.
See, so that's interesting because, like, we went, sports basically shut down in March, right? And then we went April, May, June, like, with no sports at all. And then kind of mid-July, July is kind of when things started picking back up again. The NBA started their bubble. NHL kind of got plans together for their postseason. Baseball did their little spring training, summer camp thing. And it was weird because, like, since we went like 3 months with no sports, it's almost like, I don't know, I almost lost interest in some things.
Yeah.
I actually, even football, like, typically I would watch football all day Saturday, all day Sunday. Like, this past Sunday, like, my wife and I, we just, like, did housework, like, all day. Like, we, like, were doing stuff outside. We cleaned our garage. Like, we did all these things. And, like, I didn't watch any football this weekend, like, hardly at all.
So the weird thing about, like, everything that happened was I think I got used to just being able to go home and turn on Netflix to watch TV, that I got to a point where I was like, it got normal.
Yeah.
So when it came back, it was like, well, Penguins are in the playoffs. Obviously, you watch that. Pirates are playing, but I mean, that lasted a good 2 months. And at that point, the interest fell to a flip back and forth.
It was not a great product.
So it turned to a flip back and forth type deal. I kind of miss not having sports sometimes, just because the ability to go to bed at 9 o'clock some nights is wonderful.
Yeah, I can't do that. I can't go to bed at 9 o'clock.
I can.
I can't do it. I tried one night. Like, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to bed early. I'm going to wake up early. And I tried going to sleep at like 10 o'clock. and I just laid there in bed for like 2 hours. This was like 2 weeks ago. I was like, I think this is a good idea. Let's try it. It didn't work out.
See, the key is that you drink until you're just buzzed enough that you get really tired, then you just pass out.
That would probably work. I think that would do the trick.
Which is exactly what I did Sunday when I only watched the Steeler game. Went to the bar for it. I got home about 5:30. I was like, you know what? I think it's nap time. Woke up about 10 o'clock. Didn't bet on any afternoon games. Forgot all about it. Oh well.
Buck on Mike said that I had my apron on, baking cookies all day Sunday. You know what? I did not bake any cookies Sunday, but I will say this. So, like, my wife has like a little side hustle where she like decorates cookies, like royal icing sugar cookies, and I have helped her bake those cookies. So, no apron though. I didn't wear an apron.
So, you know what? Another thing I didn't really consider that I probably should have is maybe, I don't know about you, but myself, why I haven't been watching so much. We're opening back up like as a country, so I have too many obligations to be able to just go home and just sit there and do nothing all the time. It's like, well, we got a wedding this weekend. Nope, can't watch football all day. Your parents want to go to dinner. Let's go get dinner with the parents. Your dad wants to meet up because birthdays, this. And all of a sudden, I don't have time to sit down and just watch sports all day.
Right. Yeah, no, it's weird. This has definitely been a really weird year. And like, I wonder how many lingering effects, to the sports world there's going to be based off of just kind of everything that's happened.
And all I want to do is just sit down and watch football all day. That's all I want to do.
Yeah, that's probably what I'll do Sunday. Actually, Steelers got a good game on Sunday, so I'm definitely going to watch that one. The Browns seem to actually be pretty good.
I'll tell you what, I go to the bar almost every game. I will not be at the bar for this game. I'm smack dab in the middle of Browns Steelers territory. I can't do it.
Yeah, so you probably have like turf wars going on there.
Yeah, I can't do it. There's no way I'll be able to handle Browns fans if it goes poorly for me, and I won't be able to handle their complaining if it goes great for me. So I'm just gonna. I'm the type that I like to just sit there in quiet and watch my game. I have 4 other TVs because if you saw my Twitter picture, I had like 8 remotes in front of me at the bar I go to. They just give me every single TV remote. I turn it on to every game I have money on, and those are my Sundays. I can't do it with Browns fans.
I don't really have. It was weird. So when I first moved here to Louisville, it was pretty big Bengals country. So there were a lot of Bengals fans here. Whereas now, it's like everybody's turned into a Ravens fan because of Lamar Jackson. So like it was just like
stupid.
There's really no reason to root for the Bengals.
So they like poor quarterback play.
No, they like MVP quarterback play, Tyler.
Oh, then they should go root for the Chiefs.
I don't know who's the reigning MVP though.
Oh, woo! Popularity contest. Good for us. How many playoff games do you won?
So here's the thing. So they basically switched to like a Ravens town like 2 years ago, and like I'm looking at the
weird place. Like I can't imagine.
Well, there's Columbus no pro team
doing that.
There's no.
I know.
Pro
I just can't imagine like
weird,
Columbus being like, Dwayne Haskins went to the Redskins. Washington football team.
Yeah,
Dwayne Haskins went there. Let's go root for them.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing.
Place you live.
Well, yeah. So that was even before this. So before this, they went from Bengals fans, and then they were Vikings fans for a few years because of Bridgewater, and then they switched to Ravens fans. Like the local game that we get every Sunday we get the Ravens game. Weird.
You live in a weird place, man.
If you look at the map, like the national map, you'll see that
it's just like one dot.
Louisville's like a dot. Like it's got the Ravens game all the time. It's odd. I mean, I get it. Probably. I mean, because they don't really have a team to follow here. But
you're not that far from Cincy.
It's like an hour and a half. But I think it was just what it is the Bengals have just been so bad for so long that no one really has like a diehard allegiance to them. So they're very fluid with their fandoms.
Couldn't do it. We can't relate, Pirates fans.
Right. We can't relate.
Can't relate.
Yeah, no. I think that's I mean, having a team in your city, like you grow up in that city and like that's your team, like that's your city's team. So, it's a little bit different of a situation. But yeah, like I couldn't even imagine I mean, I love Andrew McCutcheon, but like I couldn't imagine being a Phillies fan because of Andrew McCutcheon, Whereas here it's weird. That's kind of just how it is.
Question for you. What would you do if the Pirates moved out of Pittsburgh?
Ooh, that's a good question. I honestly don't know. I
wouldn't follow them.
I would probably be extremely angry at them for making that decision. And
I would not follow them.
Yeah, I think I'd be with you. I think I would no longer let's say if they moved to Charlotte, right? And they became the Charlotte Pirates.
Nope.
Yeah, I don't think I would not appreciate that move. And yeah, that may be the only thing that they could do that could just completely end all support for me. I mean,
yeah, because I know when Lemieux was playing hardball and trying to get a new stadium or a new arena, I would have just stopped watching hockey. I can't stop watching baseball, but because hockey's different. But I don't know what I would do.
Yeah,
it would be great to be able to just choose a new team, though.
That is true, though. Like if the Penguins had moved to where was it, Kansas City? They were talking. If the Penguins had moved to Kansas City, I probably never would have watched hockey ever again.
No, I would have just stopped watching hockey.
What would the point be?
I probably would have rooted for the Blue Jackets and then just not watched them.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's not a team I could say I would root for, though. I wouldn't root for the Rays. It would be a small market team, probably, but.
Yeah, see, I think what I would do if that were to happen, I would just.
You can't just jump on a Yankees bandwagon.
I think I would just become a really big fan of I mean, even now, I love certain players, and so I will watch those players. But I think that's kind of what I would move more towards is, I'm just going to watch Ronald Acuna Jr. tonight, or I'm going to watch Juan Soto tonight, or I'm going to watch.
I can't do that. They don't get enough at bats for me to care to do that. See, I think I would probably go I might go A's or something because I just well, I don't know. I might go Rockies. I don't know, someone that I can wear their hat and it matches my outfit.
Rocky, it's all blitz, a lot of black. Yeah,
yeah, just give me black. That's all I'm about.
So to your point, how about the at bats. This was something that it was a new feature. I think it was a new feature, just came out this year. But Baseball Reference started something that integrates with MLB.TV. It doesn't work for if you're watching MLB TV on a smart TV or anything. But if you've got MLB.TV pulled up on your computer, in your browser, you can set basically a lineup of what you want to see, from most important to least important. And you can put on there, okay, the thing I want to see first and foremost is Mike Trout at bats. Second, I want to see Tatis. Third, Soto. Fourth, Acuna. You can set an order. It's kind of like an NFL Red Zone type thing, but for what you want to watch for baseball games. And I tried it one night, and it was a really cool feature. So you plug in what you want to see, and then if none of those guys are hitting, then it'll just automatically go to whatever game situation has the highest leverage at that point in time. And so it'll just keep bouncing back and forth from game to game, whether or not those guys are at bat, or if they're not at bat, it just goes to the highest leverage game. It was really neat.
That would be great for fantasy baseball. Aside from that, I'll just watch Netflix.
Yeah, I think
That's a way I enjoy baseball.
That's a way to see everything, though.
Yeah, I just spend my life around baseball so much that if it's not my favorite team, it's tough.
I mean, I see that too. But no, that was a cool feature.
I'll go to work. I go to one baseball practice. I go to another baseball game. I go home. Sometimes I just don't want to keep watching baseball.
I hear that.
But that's just me.
Yeah.
Not many people were in my situation where my life is surrounded by baseball during the summer, where sometimes it's just like, you know what? Netflix sounds real good. Let's turn on The Office.
Yeah. No, I mean, I get that
and
too.
I do think like there's people even in a similar situation, just fatigue of watching the Pirates too, where it's like I can't. Why am I wasting my night during like at least this year?
It is like, hard sometimes. Like in like a 4-0 game where the offense has like 2 hits and 12 strikeouts, and you're just like, I am completely wasting my time.
And it's so weird because I know growing up, like I remember watching probably 120 games a year when they were terrible.
Yeah.
And then we had 3 winning seasons. Well, 4, but I don't care about that 4th one.
Right.
And it just, I don't know. It's weird because you consider Steeler fans spoiled, Penguins fans spoiled. I got spoiled by the Pirates with 1 playoff appearance and 2 wild card appearances.
Well, I think that's what. Yeah, we went. What 20 years or something like that? It was 19 years without a winning season, and then we did have success for 3 years.
I was 20 years old when I saw my first winning season.
So I was older than that. Because like I don't. So I mean, well, let's see. I was 5 years old in 1992, but I don't remember that. Like I don't remember anything about that ever. And
yeah, which does make me feel awkward about that NLCS game when people say stuff. I'm like, I don't really care. I wasn't alive.
Yeah, I was alive for it, but I wasn't. I mean, I was maybe watching it. I don't know. But like at that point in my life, I don't know. I mean, at some point,
care.
Well, it wasn't that I didn't care, but I don't know. When you're 5 years old, you don't even like have a fully functioning brain. So I mean,
it's similar to like the Steelers Cowboys Super Bowl in '95 for me, where people bring it up. I'm like, I was like 4 years old. I don't know.
I remember that. I would have been 9. I do like vividly remember that because I remember the interception that O'Donnell threw like on that last drive. I specifically remember. I saw the 17 Pirates.
All right. What is your first sports memory?
My first sports memory is
like major Pittsburgh memory.
Okay, major Pittsburgh memory.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
So my first sports memory is Joe Carter's walk-off home run. That's the first thing that I like can specifically remember in my head. My first Pittsburgh memory.
I know. I'm trying to think back.
Question. It's probably. So I remember beating the Chargers in the AFC title game before that 95 Super Bowl. I remember the 1994 Home Run Derby at the River Stadium. So like I specifically remember being at that.
I remember. Let me think. I remember the Giants Ravens Super Bowl in I think 99 2000.
Okay,
it's probably the first thing I really really vividly remember, other than like watching just random, like none of it really sticks out, but just watching Kevin Young play first base and stupid stuff like that.
Yeah, he was there basically the whole 90s.
Yeah, that just because my parents made me. I play first base because lefty action, and they made me do splits, which doesn't work anymore, man.
You couldn't really play anywhere else in the infield, and
and then I got short.
Yeah,
I stayed short, I should say.
Okay.
Pirates memory might be the first walk off at PNC Park was Kendall.
Okay.
And I think 01. That's probably the first Pirates memory I have. Steeler wise, I remember Cordell, but
so you don't remember. So you don't remember Three River Stadium at all?
I do, but the most vivid one is the Kendall walk off in 01.
Yeah,
because my parents were dickheads and left early, and we were walking across the freaking Clementi Bridge.
Yeah,
and we heard the 30 fans cheering.
So
the Pirates won a game.
Yeah. So I'm one of those guys. Are you one of those guys?
No,
like, no matter
never
what
mind.
you stay, do you stay till the end?
No, my first memory actually, Pittsburgh memory is Kendall breaking his ankle.
Okay, so that would have been. I think that was 98.
Yeah, that's it. I was 5. I remember it.
I specifically remember that too. I remember
because I remember
him in the hospital bed and stuff.
And I remember my dad yelling at me, "You don't jump on first base like that. You run through the base."
Yeah, no, I remember that because that was something where I remember we were actually playing pretty well at that point in time because it was like right after that.
Yeah, was it the freak show season?
So,
no, that wasn't.
Okay,
the freak
so
show.
it was 99 is when he got hurt, and he was having a hell of a year. He was batting 332 at that point. In the
That's
year.
my guy.
332. He had a 428 on base percentage, slugging 511. He had a 939 OPS, and then breaks his ankle. Out for the year. That 1999 Pirates team they actually almost finished 500. They were 78 and 83. I'll bet. So here's it. You know what's funny is if Kendall doesn't get hurt there, does that 19-year streak never happen? Like, do they have a winning record in 1999?
Possibly. I mean,
it's 3 games.
Here's
3-game difference. Like,
maybe not the ankle, but the thumb. But is Jason Kendall a Hall of Famer? Because I remember reading. Stat. I read something at one point where he was on pace with like a Mike Piazza at one point.
So crazy stat that I heard the other day. I'm trying to look it up, see if I can find it. Jason Kendall is 5th all time in games caught in Major League history.
Sounds about right.
I mean, that's insane. I would have never I heard that last year at one point.
Couldn't throw anyone out.
But I would have never guessed that. I would have never have thought that Jason Kendall would be in the top 5 of catchers in games played.
I love that guy.
I like Kendall too. Yeah, I was a big fan. It was kind of weird when he got in that fight with us when he was a Brewer.
He got in a lot of fights.
He was a gritty guy. So
I've been saying it for probably 5 years. At some point, I'm going to sit down and read his book and just laugh about how much I liked him and be like, "This guy's an idiot."
I haven't read the book yet.
I just imagine it's a bunch of him pushing rookies up against the wall and yelling at him for not playing the game the right way.
He made $83 million over his career. Good for him.
I mean, he signed a $50 million contract with the Pirates for 10 years.
Was it that? So he signed.
I don't know.
He signed that
53?
deal. I think it was in 2001.
53.
But I don't know. I don't know.
Years? I don't know. I'm guessing. I got no hands, no phone.
I don't know. I'm not really looking it up. I'm looking at his salaries. When he was getting paid, he was playing for the A's mostly.
Well, yeah, because he got traded for what was that douchebag's name?
Mark Redman and Arthur Rhodes.
Redman. Yep.
Yeah.
I swear he signed a $53 million. I don't know. I just like to flex the brain power from.
Well, I think that contract is it's either still the highest contract ever signed in the organization or it's second. It's
in total value.
Yeah, I think it's actually number possibly. 1. I'm not positive, but I bet it's.
You know what? It might be 60 because it might be right above McCutcheon's.
Yeah. But no, yeah, I was a big Kendall fan. Big Kendall fan.
It's my homeboy.
How about so that's the earliest that you can think of. DiNardo's lurking in the background. How about DiNardo? Yeah. Why don't you chime in here? What's your earliest?
My earliest is a 79 World Series.
Earliest sports memory.
I hate y'all.
So mine is
no, good question. My earliest sports memery.
When Wilt Chamberlain finally beat Bill Russell.
Whatever. I'm not going to go the Bucko Mike route and tell you it was Mazeroski's 60th his walk-off home run in 60. So I have like memories of watching sports, but not really like knowing what they were. I remember, oddly enough, at my grandparents watching were the Penguins and the Devils in a Stanley Cup at all? Like way
No.
back? No.
No, they're in the same
conference.
Same conference.
That's how much hockey I know. So they probably were in the playoffs. I remember being my grandparents.
They would have played in the playoffs a lot. Yeah.
I remember specifically watching that because even back then I hated hockey even more, and I was bored. Living and growing up in Jersey, I remember like seeing Giants games, but not really paying attention to watching them. I wanted to watch Thundercats clearly and stuff like that. But I want to say like specifically like, at a moment and such is the Braves, the NLCS series. That's when I was moving into our newer house in Pennsylvania, and it's on the bio. Actually, I talk about it on our webpage. And moving into the house, and we had no TV, and had like the 7-inch black and white, and I was watching it, and that was what was on. And that was like my first glimpse of like actual like Pirates baseball, which somehow created me as a fan. I don't know, but I would say like that's my first memorable moment of a moment in sports.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You're so old.
Shut up, Tyler.
All right, so let's get to along kind of that same line. We talked about first thing that you remember. How about your favorite experience ever at a baseball park? Doesn't have to be a Pirates game. Any ballpark. Best experience you had.
Who's starting it?
I'll start. I was that's an easy answer for me. 2013 wild card game. It was just an absolutely incredible atmosphere. Honestly, it was nothing I've ever experienced at a baseball game ever, especially being a Pirates fan for my entire life. It was just a completely different level of experience that no person in Pittsburgh had ever had. It was just like a perfect storm of like everyone, like the drought, the team was fun to watch. They played a great game. Like they jumped out on front with the home run, the Cueto dropping the ball. Like it was perfect. Like everything about that night was perfect. And it was like holy crap, we've been so bad for so long, and just the first taste of postseason baseball was just like literally it was perfect. Everything about that night was perfect.
How sad is it? That's like our favorite memory is a wild card game.
Right. No, you're right. But it was incredible. It was an incredible atmosphere, incredible game. But that's number one for me.
Imagine. Be nice. Couldn't make it. I was busy working,
I made the drive. I made the drive up from Louisville that morning, actually, and basically drove straight to Federal Street, and then went back to Louisville the next day. So it was a lot of driving.
I had just started a new job that day, or like that week. So I was driving a truck around, listening to it on the radio, and like watching it on my phone. So the next 2 years after they won that, I was like, well, can't change it. So I went to work again, didn't call off, and they lost. And probably for the best, because when I got pissed, I could just go back to work.
Right.
But
yeah, that's number one for me. And it's not even close.
Looking back now, kind of wish I would have enjoyed that a little more.
Yeah.
Oh, God. You know what my number one is? First night of meeting the North Shore 9, Ryan and Donardo. And Ryan was so drunk.
I
think did he take a picture with Willie Stargell that night, or like he did something weird?
Like with the statue?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
I just remember sitting on. Yeah, I was sitting on the railing, and Ryan like just sitting there rocking back and forth, back and forth. So, Wags, you gonna come downtown with us tonight? Ryan, I got an hour to drive. You can come down for a beer. I don't think I made it down for. No, I did not make it down for a beer because the first time was Craig drove me.
Yes, that's right. Another fantastic night.
Yeah, and I think that was also the first night I met Ruga.
Sounds like an amazing night.
You had to be there. Jim. You had to be there.
That was not the night that Ruga tried to jump a railing. That was another night.
Oh man,
Bernardo, come on.
Bernardo, how about you? First, your favorite.
You know, I don't know. I guess unfortunately I wasn't there at the 2013 wildcard game, as you mentioned. I tried. I've talked about that before. I was sitting outside. We have flag football back in the day back there. I was sitting outside. I went like an hour early just so I could be somewhere stationary, trying to get the tickets, and I couldn't get them, unfortunately. And like when I still lived in Pittsburgh area, the Pirates weren't good, so there wasn't too many memorable situations. So I guess by default, like my most memorable experience at a baseball game is probably when McClendon took and stole first base. I was at that game. I did go ahead and tweet out the ticket as I went through my ticket stubs not too long ago to prove it. But yeah, I was at the game. That happened. That's pretty memorable. That's never really happened before.
That's very good.
And, with a very terrible team in town, that's, I guess, what I could grasp on. I can get to some other ones a little bit here later. But that's probably like my most memorable baseball game. Now, I do want to ask, though, Tyler, are we sticking to just baseball or stadiums in general events?
We can do stadiums. I don't care because I got a good stadium one.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good with that, too. I can do that. I will love it.
It's going to be Louisville and something about Lamar Jackson doing something that every other player in the world can do, probably completing a pass.
So are we moving to non-baseball? Is that what we're doing? Are we just going to do that now?
Do what you want.
All right. So if we're doing that, then yeah, I'm going to go 2017. Louisville, Florida State football. College game day was at Louisville. Louisville was like number 12 in the country. Florida State was number 2, I want to say. And it was a noon game. Somehow that game was a noon kickoff. And so we were so disappointed because we weren't going to be able to tailgate for it. So I actually spearheaded with our tailgate group. I was like, you know what? If it's going to be a noon game, let's do an overnight tailgate. So we got to the stadium at 7 p.m. Friday night. We tailgated all night, like until probably 2 or 3 a.m. Like we went hard. And then we all passed out just like in our trunks, like in the parking lot. Woke up at 6:37. Started tailgating some more, made our way over to college game day. And then I want to say it was the worst loss in Florida State history. They lost by like 38 points. We just blew them out of the water. Lamar Jackson had like 6 or 7 touchdowns. And crowd was nuts. It was that's probably my favorite non-baseball or experience. And then he won the Heisman that year.
Yeah, he completed probably 3 passes. Good for him. I know it's a rarity when he completes a football to a receiver. I think football-wise, I got to go. The only thing that would compare to that 13 wildcard game would have to be, I think it was. It would have been probably Super Bowl year for this. What had it been on? I don't remember the exact year. It was Myron Cope. They were retiring a jersey for him at a Steeler game, and I don't think I've ever seen something like that where you just look around and it's just a sea of yellow, like with the terrible towels. Because Myron Cope went out there. I think it was a Ravens game, and the Steelers won 20-19 on like Monday Night Football or something. Might have been. No, I think it was the Ravens. The Ravens are bad that year. But like any experience where that's the closest thing I can come to that 13 wild card game, which I really wish I could have attended, but that's probably the closest I've got. Is just a Steeler game is a different experience sometimes. Like when Renegade comes on, that's also the closest thing to Cueto. But that happens every week. It's not like that.
Right.
So that's up there for me. And I was probably like 10 years old at the time, just looking around, be like, this is pretty cool. Like it's one of those first times you get like goosebumps. You're like, what are these?
I hear you. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That is one like super unique thing that like I mean, being a Steelers fan too from Pittsburgh, but like the terrible towel like is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Like we're like that's the only team that has like is known for something like that. And Myron Cope was kind of the guy who did that. So
but
that's pretty cool.
And then when Renegade hits,
yeah,
that's cool. Especially during a big game, not when it's like a snoozer and they play just that on nothing.
Right.
Whatever.
Okay. All right.
So, and I guess this is why I wanted to ask if we're just sticking to baseball or not, because I would probably say my next memorable one was, a guy I admired watching all my life. And now it's pretty on point. LeBron winning the title, right? The championship. We're getting, again, the LeBron versus Jordan stuff. So I will show my real age here. I'm not 23, if everyone's still wondering. But so in 2001, my first year in college, me and my roommate were teammates on the basketball team, big time basketball fans. Loved Jordan to both of us. And that's when there was rumors that he was going to come back and play for the Washington Wizards, right? It was all just rumors. Well, when you looked at their off-season schedule, they played the Phillies. They played the 76ers in Penn State the very first game. So we had a really good friend also on the basketball team with us. He went to Penn State main campus. And so we arranged it with him. He bought us tickets before Jordan was even announcing anything. Just on a limb, we bought the tickets hoping. And then, of course, he announced his comeback. So we actually saw technically Jordan's very first basketball game in a Wizards uniform at Penn State University playing the 76ers. And one of the just strange, odd highlights is, I forget his name. Who was the big white dude with a goatee? He played center for them back then. Oh, God. Played for Charlotte as well. Anyways, that was when Britney Spears was, of course, popping. They played her video, like on the middle arena part, the scoreboard or whatever. And I swear to God, he would just stand there, just staring at her the whole time. Everyone's doing their layup drills, and he was just up there, just watching her. So I'm gonna Google the name and come back with it later. That's great. But yeah, so that's my second best experience because that's Jordan. That's a legend, and I actually got to see him in person. AI did not play, by the way. He was hurt.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. An NBA, I've only been to 2 NBA games in my life.
Me too, Jimbo.
And randomly, they were both in Texas. I've been to a Mavericks game and a Rockets game. So just when I was like in those 2 cities for work, we just went out there one night and caught games. So, but nothing too crazy about either of those games.
I've been to 2 NBA games myself because I'm a Lakers fan, and I don't root for LeBron, so kind of cut that out of my life.
No.
But I did watch Kobe play twice. That was all I needed.
There you go.
And the one time, they lost both times. Actually, the one time, Ramon Sessions went off, I think, 28 points. Cavs won like 15 games that year. The Lakers were good. And I think I yelled at everyone on my way out of the parking lot, telling everyone to F off because I was angry. I was in high school. And then the other time, LeBron had a big game. Kobe had a big game. Someone missed a free throw. Kobe went up, grabbed the rebound. Like, they were down by like 2. Someone made one, missed one. Kobe came in from 3, grabbed the rebound, then turned around, winked at the camera like Kobe fashion. Love that guy.
Very cool. Very cool. All right, so let's move on to. We got some mail, don't we? Denardo, you want to read us our mail?
We do, and I'll tell you what. So to follow up on that, it was it was Matt Geiger.
Matt Geiger.
If you recall Matt Geiger, here's a.
I recall Matt Geiger.
Did
he go to?
Kind of got a little Kevin Stallings to him, by the way. Kevin and Jacob.
Matt Geiger went to Florida, right?
He couldn't.
One more before we jump into the mail time.
Georgia Tech.
Do you guys remember your first game with your dad the first baseball game with your dad after you're legally able to drink?
No.
I was gonna say that was one of my better experiences too. Just being able to go have a beer with your dad at the ballpark. That's cool. That's a cool time.
I guess my thing too, I wasn't like my family's in Pittsburgh and I was here, when I turned 21. So I guess it wasn't. Yeah, I was already away. But no, I don't remember that. But I guess that would be cool though.
Yeah, I'm trying to think too. Like I'm sure I was at a baseball game with my dad after 21 and stuff. I mean, I know because even though I go home sometimes I have, but I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know. I guess it's just like normal at that time, when we're going to games or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I just turned 21.
Yeah, I didn't have like that post. I'm just 21, like at a game, I guess, with them.
Yeah.
So that's probably why.
Okay.
But yeah, so we have some mail.
Yeah, let's get to this mail. Get to the mail.
All right. So
waiting on you, producer.
Let me bring up the questions here. As a good producer would, I'm well behind and don't have them up. So the very first question we are going to ask is, speaking of Stallings, so Jacob Stallings. Oh, that could have been a good segue. Jacob Stallings, trade him or extend him? This question was asked by the Baseball Broski.
What are you going to trade him for? And why would you extend him? Can I hit a buzzer for neither?
I mean, you can do what you
want.
I
don't want to keep him. I don't want to keep him either. I just think he exists. Like, he's a solid, okay backup. He's on any contender. He's not a real deal catcher. So he's just kind of there for me. He's a stopgap until they get whatever catcher comes up that doesn't exist yet. That's where I'm at with him.
Yeah, so the question is trade him or extend him. I think if you look at kind of those two options, if you were to trade him, realistically, what could you get for him? Right?
Nothing.
We talked about kind of the comparison to Austin Nola, right? That trade this year, and Austin Nola is a better hitter. They're both solid defensively. Nola, they're the same age. They're both like 30 years old, right? They're not young people whatsoever. But you look at Nola had a weighted runs created plus of 126 this year. Stallings was 93. So I think if you were to trade somebody like Stallings, the return would be pretty underwhelming. Like, you'd be looking at somebody who probably isn't even going to be as good as Jacob Stallings. You're not going to get a top 100. You're not going to get a Taylor Trammell type prospect for Jacob Stallings, like the Mariners got for Nola. But I don't think trading him is really a good idea, because then you run into, if you trade Jacob Stallings, there's really no one else there to even play the position. I mean, the other options at catcher are pretty terrible for the short term and long term. I also don't think you extend him. I mean, he's got less than 2 years worth of service time, so he's still making the league minimum.
Really had one okay year.
Yeah, he's making the league minimum for one more year, and then he's going to have probably a super 2 year for arbitration, and then 3 more years. He's not a free agent until 2025, when he'll be 36 years old, by the way. So I think what you do with Stallings, I think what you just do with Stallings is you just let him, you ride him out
until he shows you enough to non-tender him, basically.
Yeah, I mean you've already got him until he's 36, so just ride him out, see what happens. He can be that bridge between now and hopefully the catcher of the future of the next Pirates team that is being rebuilt at this point in time. So I think if I'm going to answer that question, I'm going to say what Tyler said and go with neither of those options. I think is what I would do. Yeah.
Interesting. Now, as the producer, I just want to put out there. So this year, he did rank 11th in WAR amongst catchers. All right. And I just want to say, I don't think he's this top 5 catcher. Not top 10 catcher. I know this is a weird year, and he had a very good 2-week offensive burst that helped his offensive numbers. But I just want to say, I do believe he's an adequate catcher. I don't know. If it were me, I would be looking to trade him. You're going to get Maley back next year. You're worried about the catching, and I know there's not really talent in there, but I understand you're not going to get a top 100 prospect either, but I just feel like you kind of ride this high. I mean, he's got value now. You look to trade him. You get Maley back. You look to acquire something else. Just have some people back there until, how Jim said, you do get the next guy that's up for the Pirates, which I don't know who it is because there's still nothing in the system. But I do think someone would trade for him. You know what really grinds my gears too is what Tyler said here about he's not a contender, he's not a starting catcher on a contending team. I don't know what I hate that term because it's all about roster construction. I mean,
I hate you.
Look at the Astros right now. Martin Maldonado, what is he? He's been terrible this year, and he's on technically one of the top 4 teams in baseball right now. That are contending for the World Series. So I think there's a team out there that could be good, but needs some desperate help at catcher, and that's where Stallings can come in.
I know your complaint is with, I guess, semantics of it, but he's not a catcher on any Pirates contending team because they're not going to be contending during his time with the Pirates.
And that I agree with.
Is probably a better way to phrase it.
Okay, now that I agree with. So in my point of view, it's why not go ahead and look to trade him now? Or I mean, it could be next.
In my opinion, the value that you're going to receive from him as a catcher is probably less than the value that you're going to get with his comfortability with the starting pitchers, where you can get more value. So, and the development of the starters that you probably need. Now, what are you going to do? If we're going to bring in a Russell Martin or something stupid and some old guy to just groom some catchers and whatever.
Bring back J.R. Murphy. You got Maley still here. There you go. We're good.
Love it.
I think Jacob Stallings isn't very good, and I think this year was an anomaly. So,
all right. So
if you want to sell high on him for nothing, go for it.
Next question in the mailbag. This comes from Tintin049. What is the realistic return on Musgrove? Also, same question with Frazier.
Someone with the ceiling of Musgrove. I mean, what are you really hoping to get for him? He's been a maybe middle of the rotation starter most of the time, back in starter. You might be able to get a flyer on someone, but I mean, at the end of the day, he's another guy that's not really worth much more than he's showing. And the same thing with, Frazier especially is not worth anything more than he's showing. What are you going to get for Adam Frazier? A flyer. which that's not a bad thing for the Pirates. I mean, I'd take a flyer on anyone, but if they're not blocking anyone, it probably doesn't hurt to hold on to anyone that might show something and be able to sell higher on them. I just feel like you're selling low on both those guys right now.
So I'll agree with you on Frazier. Like I don't think you pull a trigger on an Adam Frazier trade this offseason because his value is so low. If you were going to trade him, yeah, you're looking at getting a low level minor leaguer who you'll have to develop for a long time, but maybe has a little bit of upside. That's kind of your best case scenario. We're not talking about any top 150 prospect, on any list. You're probably not even looking at a top 10 prospect for most teams, when it comes to an Adam Frazier return. Now, I will disagree with you on Musgrove. He's a pretty good starting pitcher. Last year was his best year as a starter. The K rate was way up, which was awesome to see. He, finally cracked that sub 4 earned run average, that he's been kind of right on the edge on his whole career. It's 3.86. He eats up innings. Like there's value in a starting pitcher who can go out there and throw 7 innings, when he's on the mound. Not a lot of guys can do that, but he can. I mean, he's been basically a over 2.5 seasons basically because this is only a half season. He's basically been like a 7 WAR pitcher, over those 2.5 seasons with the Pirates, total. So he's got some value. He's somebody where I think it depends on what kind of approach you want to take. Like if you want to go for quantity over quality, I think you could land a top 100 prospect for Joe Musgrove. Like I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility there at all. Or I think you could go for, maybe 3 guys who are all more borderline high upside guys, kind of similar to like the Starling Marte deal. Like you could get a similar trade like that, like a high upside pitcher, high upside bat. But I think Musgrove's got value, and I think if they want, they could land a top 100 prospect for Joe Musgrove.
They could do that. I'd say do it tomorrow. Another guy that's not going to be involved the next time they're contenders.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in agreement with you there. I think he's a guy that you move this offseason. He's the one person on this team whose value isn't, on the floor right now.
To dumb mistake.
Mm-hmm.
And to correct you, Tyler, you can't trade him tomorrow, but soon after the World Series, you can.
Don't care, trade him tomorrow.
All right.
Get the agreement done.
Also, I do want to say Ethan jumped in. We were talking about Stallings. He is now Super 2 eligible this offseason. So he's still got 4 more years of control after this year. So 21, 22, 23, and 24. So just to make that correction.
Nice.
He'll be 35.
Yeah, he'd be 35.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then, so the last question comes from Tim Shady. This is going to be interesting. All right. So, what is the most annoying sports team Twitter fan base, locally
Cleveland.
and nationally?
Cleveland.
Cleveland's not local.
Cleveland.
Maybe for you it is, I guess. If we're going solely Pittsburgh-based local
Penguins.
bases.
Yeah, the way I'm thinking that is like Panthers,
Penguins.
Steelers, Penguins, Pirates.
So I can answer that question a couple different ways. If we're talking about most annoying within the market, it's Penguins fans. Like, no doubt. They are so annoying. Like, and like I said, I'm a Penguins fan, but one thing I can't stand is like when the Penguins fans bash the Pirates for like not being able to sign big names, while the Penguins, obviously, they like were blessed with like the greatest lottery win of all time, right? And landed Sidney Crosby. They just happened to be terrible the year that the best player of our generation was there. So and hockey, the rules are different so that you can keep players like that because there are salary caps and salary restrictions and things like that. It's just a completely different sport with completely different rules, and they don't make sense. You can't compare the two together. The Penguins fans don't bring that up ever during an argument. Like I said, I love the Penguins, but that annoys me.
No, their fans are like there's what the worst Penguin fans are the Penguins only fans. Like,
and there are those
fans
two.
of the Steelers, fans of the Pirates, only fans of the Penguins.
Yeah. No, that, and I said to each their own, but I don't know what it is about them, but they just,
it's that they haven't, like, the majority of the ones that I see on Twitter are around probably a little bit younger than me that don't remember before Crosby.
That makes sense, because like I remember
it's the same with Steeler fans too,
late 90s,
because it's been so successful for so long.
Early 2000s. Like I remember going to Mellon Arena and there being
and having like $10 tickets,
like 6,000 people in the stands, and you could just walk in basically for free. Like I remember those times. I remember Generation X or whatever they called it, and Rico Fata was the best player on the team, and like I remember all that, and those teams were terrible. Like they were just god awful. And you're right. So like anybody who's probably 26 or 25 or younger, they don't know anything other than the Sidney Crosby Penguins.
I mean, I'm 27, but I remember it just because I was actually raised a Penguins fan and watched them all the way through. So I got the post-Yager, pre-Crosby era in there. And I remember them finally getting good again with Gino, and I remember Lemieux coming back and all that.
Yeah.
A lot of the fans on Twitter, I don't feel like remember that.
Yeah, no, they don't.
They jumped into hockey at a late time, and then they became the number one team. And then also, hockey's such a hard sport to really understand because most fans didn't play it.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably like the only sport where like, you're right, like 99% of fans never actually played.
And I'm included in that, so if I get involved in a real hockey talk, I'm like, I'm out. I don't understand sport in depth. I get it enough.
Yeah.
But
I'm the same way. My goal this year was to like get more well versed in like hockey analytics and stuff.
Yeah, but those people are the worst.
It never stuck. I was just like, this is too much. I just want to watch them shoot the puck around, and that's all. Like I don't need to know all this other stuff.
I'm with you. But
I think
what was your other?
Well, so I think there's two ways to approach this question. So there's differences because Penguins fans are super annoying within the Pittsburgh market, right?
Yeah.
Steelers fans are super annoying just in general. Like, but if you are from Pittsburgh, Steelers fans are completely fine with you. Like it's like, because everybody's a Steelers fan. I mean, from Pittsburgh for the most part. So it's like they're not annoying because we're all part of it for the most part.
Yep.
But Steelers fans are super annoying when dealing with other fan bases. So I think, like I said, it depends on how you approach that question. Steelers fans are very annoying, just not within the market as much as Penguins fans.
So on the other end of that, where I just said the younger crowd of Penguins fans is annoying, the older crowd of Steelers fans is equally as annoying. You guys just accept mediocrity, and they haven't won anything in this many years. It's hard to win a Super Bowl, and I can't do anything about it. What do you want from me? Do you want me to like demand fire Mike Tomlin? What do you want from me here?
That's just how you.
But it's the same thing with Pirates fans.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys would stop going to games, nothing would have to sell. No, he wouldn't.
No, he wouldn't. Yeah.
They didn't have fans. He ain't selling.
No, I hear you there. So I think there's two ways to answer that question.
That's the way it is.
And like, I'm not saying the Pirates just because I think objectively,
Pirates fans suck too.
I think objectively though, Pirates fans, we know we suck as a team. So it's like we're not annoying about it just because we know we suck.
But you know what? Pirates fans are the most annoying during 13 through 15 because I feel like the rest of the like casual fan base joined in.
Which I'm fine with.
Yeah, but they were annoying. Like they would lose a game. There goes home field advantage.
Everybody,
they won 98 games.
So basically, the answer is everybody's annoying.
Yeah, everyone's
annoying.
Basically, just casual fans suck.
Yeah. Now, on a national stage, I'm going to have to say University of Kentucky fans. They are just the worst people in the world. I hate them with every fiber of my being.
So you don't like
I hate Lynn Bowden Jr. I hated Benny Snell. I hated Bud Dupree until he finally started being good last year. Like
I still don't like him.
But like I hate the University of Kentucky and all of their supporters. Hate them all.
Well, they hate you.
They do, and I will agree with them on that. They hate me. I hate them.
Okay. Yeah. So my first fan base I hate is the Cleveland Browns. Any Cleveland fan, to be honest, I've said this many times, and I'll say it again. If Cleveland got nuked, I would die with it, and I'd be okay with it because I want that city off the face of the earth. I have friends that will root for the Cavs. Nope. I don't want their fan base to have a single ounce of happiness in their life ever. I want them to go 0-16 every year. I want them to be so miserable that they don't watch sports anymore. I want them to relocate again to Baltimore and give them a second team. I hate that city so much. Oh, but Cleveland fans are the most loyal because they stuck around through all this. Now they're stupid. And they still think that this is going to be their year.
I guess you could say that about Pirates fans, though. We're also stupid.
Yeah, we're not as annoying and tell everyone this is our year. We know this ain't our year.
We know. We know we suck.
We know, as Pittsburgh fans, we're only allowed to have two good teams. So once the Steelers or the Penguins suck, we might be back. That's my theory on it.
Yeah.
And then locally is pretty much it's the Penguins fans because they're really annoying. But in general, it's any fan that's a fan of only one of the Pittsburgh teams.
Makes sense.
Except for the people that are only fans of Pirates. You're just so crazy that I kind of like you. Like DiNardo.
I don't say, so does DiNardo fall under the annoying? But I guess not.
No, like if you're only a Pirates fan, you're just a little bit psycho. So
there's something wrong with you. Like
you're a masochist, and I get it.
Like if that was the one team that stuck, yeah, there's something wrong with you.
But like Penguins only fans, Steelers only fans, like Steeler, Yankee, Lakers fans suck.
Do those exist?
There's like Yankees, Packers fans.
Oh yeah.
Anybody that's just fans of like people. Whoever, yeah, they suck.
Actually, there was a meme that went out this when the Lakers won. I found it pretty hilarious. Because what was it? It was something with the fact that I see all the Cowboys fans are excited tonight. Oh no, that's what it was. It was when the Lakers lost that one game, and it was like, oh, the Cowboys fans are disappointed tonight. And it's simply because the Lakers lost. Because right, like Tyler said, it's how many bios you see? Lakers fan, Cowboys fan, Yankees fan.
Yeah. I saw one like after the Yankees lost. It was like,
right.
Don't worry, like last year. Don't worry, Yankees fan. Cowboys season's right around the corner.
Yeah. So I'll say those are very annoying fans. But as far as fan bases for me, I'll have to agree Penguins as well. I feel like Pitt and Pirates Twitter and their fan bases have a lot in common. That we just
kind of humorous.
We understand. Yeah, and like you have to find the light. You have to find the joy in the misery. So you're just, like you said, you're mattresses. You're just making fun of yourself, right? Steeler fans, actually, that's a very good comp, Jim. That's very good. They're very annoying to other fan bases, but like you said, like internally, we're all good. We're all good. We're all one big family, right? But every fan base, I feel like, hates Steeler fans.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering too. You brought up Kentucky, and I'm wondering if it's just like the bias, like where you're located. Because what I was going to say nationally, I find two fan bases that are very, very annoying, and I find them very, very similar in a sense. And it's Cardinals fans, not Louisville. Notice how I
They
said
do
Louisville.
suck.
Not Cardinals fans as far as Louisville, but St. Louis.
Yeah.
But also Florida Gator fans, I find extremely annoying. And again, it's
Gator
all for
fans
like
do
the
suck.
same reason. And again, me here in Jacksonville, you in Louisville, obviously a Louisville fan. Maybe that's why you find Kentucky fans annoying. But yeah, I find Florida Gator fans extremely, extremely annoying.
Oh yeah, like
I
I'm a
see
Buckeye
that.
fan, and the things I heard, like just complaining about Urban Meyer going to Ohio State, so obnoxious. Just shut up.
Yes.
I had no choice in it. Leave it alone.
And it's like I find Yankee fans.
What do you want me to do?
annoying as
Be
well.
upset? He's
But the thing about Yankee
Yankees
fans that I
fans
find
suck.
annoying is they're annoying because they expect like the World Series every single year.
Yeah.
And that's
and
that's
then when
kind
they
of
don't
annoying.
get it, 27
But at
rings.
the same sense, you know what? You demand greatness. I'll hand it to you. You know, it's when the Cardinals fans
27
have
rings,
to have
Bernardo.
every excuse of why everyone's against them and they would have won had this and that. You know, when they are a mediocre team, when you have an okay catcher, you're like, oh, never trade Yadier Molina for Mike Trout. You know, like that type of stuff. Like that's annoying. You know, like no Yankee fan will ever say that. At least, you know, they're just pissed off because not winning. So I mean, I can accept that. You're expecting greatness, okay. But yeah, Cardinals fans annoy the hell out of me, as well as Gator, and they're pretty much the same.
So I'll say I'll agree with the Cardinals fans. They are also annoying. Cubs fans are annoying, especially now that they finally won. They're annoying. Florida Gators fans, I've only had one ever experience with them. It was in the 2013 Sugar Bowl, and we kicked their ass. So that was fun. So it was they were super sad the whole time. So I had one buddy who I went down with who was a Florida fan, and he was kind of talking. He was talking shit, the whole time, leading up to the game, and then it was just never close the whole game. So he was very quiet after really the first play. So yeah, but Florida, I could see that. I mean, knowing just how the South is with college sports, they're all pretty annoying.
You know what? Let's just lump all the SEC fans in general.
No, it's funny you say
that, except maybe Vanderbilt. Like Vanderbilt fans aren't annoying.
Are they really in the SEC?
Exactly. Well, just like Kentucky, like it is Kentucky. Kentucky is
unless
like an
Bode's there
too.
I just want to chime in with what Tyler said. It's funny he did say that because Regis responded to Tim's tweet and said SEC nationally, no doubt. So, and I get that vibe. You know,
makes sense.
Anyone,
because I don't get it. How can you be fans of an entire conference?
Oh, it's the dumbest thing ever, and it's a real thing. Like I'll talk to Kentucky fans, and they will like say that they're good because they're in the SEC, and I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Like the fact that there's other teams in your conference who are good has nothing to do with you being good at all.
They root for other SEC schools
because they're in the AL East.
They root for other SEC schools to win a bowl game.
Yeah, no, it's weird. I don't get it. Like if Clemson
Michigan's
is playing,
in one, no.
I'm hoping Clemson gets just crushed. But no, they want every SEC team to win like every game. I don't understand. It's stupid. But hey, it means more. It means more there.
Sure it does. A bunch of mediocrity.
According to their commercial. Like those are the worst commercials.
Football heaven.
Oh no, it's like the SEC. It just means more.
I hate that commercial.
I'm like, shut up. It doesn't mean anything more.
You guys are the same as every other conference. Top heavy as can be.
All right. Well, I think that's all the questions we had, right?
Yeah.
That is correct.
All right. Well, we want to wrap this up?
Sure.
Let's wrap it up. Thanks a lot, guys, for tuning. Thanks a lot for tuning in. There's going to be a podcast on Sunday, a cool interview that Denardo and Tyler were able to be a part of. So look for that on Sunday. I don't know if one of you want to do a little teaser for that.
Yeah, listen to it on Sunday.
Yeah, listen to it on Sunday.
Not to give too much away, but we had a author on. He wrote about the 1960 Pirates, Maz's big home run.
We had what?
Year. Huh?
We had what?
What'd I say?
An author.
An author.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you said a name, and I was like, that's not his name.
Well, that is also correct. That was not his name. But we had an author on. He wrote about the 1960 Pirates. And again, it was actually on the day of we did it on Tuesday, which was the 60th anniversary of Maz's walk-off home run. So that'll be out on Sunday. And then by then, actually, I think we'll probably end the World Series, right? Also.
So.
Yeah, we should be.
So kind of cool.
Wrap it up.
Awesome. Well, thanks again. Like I said, listen to them on Sunday, and talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye, Girl Scouts.
Bye-bye.